The host of Up Against the Clock, Steve Kornacki.
Oh, thank you, Bill Wolf. Thank you to everyone out there tuning in at home. Welcome back for a historic edition of Up Against the Clock. Julia Collins, we have never had a contestant as decorated as you. You handled Alex Trebek with mastery. What do you make of this new show you're on?
Well, I'm intrigued to see how I'll do. I heard you don't answer in the form of a question.
Yes, we will penalize you 50 points if you say what is, where is, or who is. But other than that, we're excited to have you here. We really appreciate you doing it. Evan and Jonathan, your chance to go up against a game show legend.
Yeah. Thrilled.
They look excited. Let's get to the rules. Let me take you through how this works. This is a fast-paced political news and current events quiz. We will play for 3 rounds, each of them 100 seconds long. Questions are worth 100 points in the first round, 200 points in the second, 300 in the third. Contestants take notice. You can ring in any time, but you will be penalized for wrong answers. Also, there are 2 special bonus questions scattered throughout. We will explain when they come up. And our contestants will be playing not just for victory today, but also for a chance to play in our Tournament of Champions. But to qualify, contestants, you first have to win today. As always, I will implore our live studio audience, please, no outbursts. Contestants, I will now ask you, put your hands on your buzzers, put 100 seconds on the clock, and the first round will begin with this. Hillary Clinton's latest book, Hard Choices, will be released this Tuesday. What is the name of her first book? Jonathan.
Living History.
Incorrect. Julia.
It Takes a Village?
It Takes a Village is correct. The champion is on the board. 100-point question. Construction equipment giant Caterpillar announced this week that they are hiring this former Obama administration transportation secretary. Evan.
Ray LaHood.
Ray LaHood is going to work for Caterpillar. Correct. 100-point question. President Obama will speak about education and the rising cost of college on Tuesday on this popular blogging platform that conspicuously...
Tumblr.
Evan, conspicuously lacks a vowel. Correct. Stop the clock. Evan, good, exciting news for you. That was the video bonus trigger question. And because you answered it correctly, you will now have a chance to add an extra 100 points to your score. It's very simple. We have asked a celebrity to read a famous political quote. All you have to do is correctly identify who said it, and you'll get that extra 100 points. There's also no penalty for guessing on this. So please take a look at the video monitor. Here is legendary Broadway actress and star of the classic late 1980s/early 1990s ABC television drama Life Goes On, Patti LuPone.
This week's Up Against the Clock quote of note asks what mayor, the subject of a 1960 Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning Broadway musical, famously said, "There is no Democratic or Republican way of cleaning the streets." Good luck.
All right, Evan, you heard the question. What's the answer?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Huey Long for some reason.
Incorrect. It was Fiorella LaGuardia.
Yeah,
That's who said that. No penalty for guessing, though.
Put that clock. My favorite person, so this is gonna be great.
We'll put the clock back up on the screen. 100-point toss-up round continues with this. The Republican National Committee announced Friday that they have raised more than $1 million from the sales of yellow, orange, green, and blue striped socks fashioned after this self-proclaimed Evan.
George H.W. Bush.
George H.W. Bush is the sock man president. Correct. 100-point question here. A column published by Reuters this week urged First Lady Michelle Obama to follow in Hillary Clinton's footsteps and to run for the Senate in 2016 in Illinois against this incumbent Republican. Julia.
Mark Kirk.
Mark Kirk is correct. That would be quite a race. 100-point question. At a press conference with British Prime Minister David Cameron on Thursday, President Obama referred to the sport of soccer as this. Jonathan.
Football.
He called it football. Correct. 100-point question. Lindsey Graham suggested this week that if more detainees were released from Guantanamo, Republicans may make Barack Obama the 3rd president to be impeached. Evan.
Oh, impeached. I thought it was going to be the answer.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question. Name the first president to be impeached. Jonathan. Andrew Johnson's correct. 100-point question. Oh, that brings us to the end of the first round. Jonathan out of negative territory to 100 points. Evan and Julia tied for the lead at 200, though. This is a close game, ladies and gentlemen, and the stakes are about to get higher because I have here the 200-point questions. This is the 200-point round. We're going to put 100 seconds on the clock. There they are, and we go with this. A story this week about President Obama described a budding friendship with this 7-time NBA All-Star and former Miami Heat center. Julia.
Who? Shaquille O'Neal?
Incorrect. Jonathan.
LeBron James?
Incorrect. Evan?
No.
No guess. Correct answer. Alonzo Mourning. 200-point question. On Thursday, Oklahoma joined Indiana and became the second state to drop the education standards known as, Evan?
Common Core.
Common Core is correct. 200 points for Evan. 200-point question here. President Obama's trip to Europe this week included a meeting with Petro Poroshenko, who is the recently elected president of what country, Evan?
Ukraine.
Ukraine is correct. 200-point question. It was reported this week that before setting out to run in a heavily Hispanic congressional district, 34-year-old Scott Fissler legally adopted Jonathan.
Cesar Chavez.
He legally adopted Cesar Chavez's name. Correct. 200 points for Jonathan. In a bipartisan vote of 78 to 17 on Thursday, Senate confirmed Jonathan.
Time.
The Senate confirmed whom as the new Evan?
Sylvia Burwell.
Sylvia Burwell is the new HHS secretary. And stop the clock because Evan, that is the use it or lose it bonus question. It means you have a chance to double what you just won, to scoop up an additional 200 points. This is not a risk-free question, though. Here's the deal. I have here a follow-up question to the one you just answered. It is related in some way. It is worth 200 extra points if you answer it correctly, but if you're wrong, you will lose those 200 points that you just won, or you can pass. You won't lose any points, but you also won't be gaining any. So it is your choice, Evan. I have the follow-up question. Here.
You know, I got this far. I got to go for it. I got to do it.
You got to go for it.
Why am I doing it? I shouldn't be doing it, right?
Go for the lock.
But I might be. Okay. All right. I got to do it.
This is you want to go for the answer. That is your final answer?
I'm doing it.
All right. Sylvia Matthews Burwell, who is the newly confirmed Secretary of Health and Human Services, hails from what state?
West Virginia.
West Virginia is correct. 200 points for Evan. McMorris-Santoro put the clock back up on the board. Evan with 1,000 points now. We pick it up with this. Dunkin' Donuts, which commemorated National Donut Day yesterday by offering a free donut with the purchase of a beverage, is headquartered in what New England state? Evan. Massachusetts. Second straight state question for Evan. 200-point question. By finishing second in California's jungle primary for governor, Republican Neil Kashkari this week won the right to face off in November against which Democrat? Evan.
Jerry Brown.
Jerry Brown is correct. 200-point. Oh, that's the end of the round. Evan on a tear. 1,400 points.
Good Lord.
Julia at 0. Jonathan at negative 100. Good news for the two opponents of Evan, though. This is the 300-point round. You can make this gap up in a hurry. Let's see if they can. Let's put 100 seconds on the board. Let's dim the lights, get the dramatic music ready, because the third and final round begins with this. Who is currently fighting for his political life in a runoff, ran for the Republican Party's top leadership position in the Senate in 1996, but lost to this other Mississippi senator. Jonathan.
Haley Barbour.
Incorrect. Evan.
Trent Lott.
Trent Lott's correct. 300-point question. Annette Bosworth turned herself in for arrest for filing false nominating petitions a mere 24 hours after losing Tuesday's Republican U.S. Senate primary in what state? Evan.
South Dakota.
Correct. 300 points for Evan. 300 points. Supposedly winning 88.7% of the vote, this notorious tyrant was declared re-elected this week as his country's leader. Evan.
Bashar al-Assad.
Assad is correct. Evan running away with this 300-point question. What is the name of Sergeant Bo Bergdahl's hometown? Time. It is Haley, Idaho. 300-point question. Joining with the incorporated area around its nearby international airport, the city of Seattle this week raised its minimum wage to what value, Evan?
$15.
$15 an hour is correct. 300-point question. The state of Iowa will, for the first time in its history, be represented by a woman in the U.S. Senate if this newly minted Republican nominee, Evan...
Jody Ernst.
I had a feeling he'd be right. 300 points. The Department of Labor announced yesterday the unemployment rate held steady in May at what level, Jonathan?
6.3%.
6.3%, correct. 300-point question. If California Chrome wins the Belmont Stakes later today, horse racing will have its first Triple Crown winner since 1978. That is the same year that the first popularly elected African-American senator was defeated for re-election. Name him.
Can we name the state?
No, we already did that one. We will call time. Correct answer is Ed Brooke of
Massachusetts.
Evan McMorris-Santoro, a world record for up against the clock, 2,900 points, defeating Julia Collins. Jonathan Capehart. That is a shockingly impressive performance. Congratulations, Evan. And Bill Wolf is going to tell you what you won.
As our champion, your name will be engraved using the finest Sharpie ink on the all-new stain-resistant Up Against the Clock Gold Cup. You'll also receive a DVD copy of the classic 1980